Calibrate your monitors and LCD. Now, when I teach this, people come up to me all the time and say, I've never heard anybody mention to calibrate your LCD. I've heard about calibrating your monitor, but I never heard about calibrating your LCD screen. So quite simply, every time you take a picture, whether you take a JPEG or even when you're shooting RAW, every time you take a picture, your camera makes a JPEG picture that shows up on the back of your LCD screen. So I'm hoping everybody's shooting RAW. But so let's assume you're shooting RAW. You take a picture. Okay, then that picture pops up on the back of your LCD screen. That's not the RAW file. That's a JPEG that your camera is making for you. Now, when you take your camera out of the box, and even now that your camera may be God knows how many years old, if you go into your camera menu, there is a brightness control for the LCD screen on the back of your camera. And most of them come out of the box bright or maybe set to 0. I have found with my Nikon cameras that I always have to set my screen to -2 because at 0, it's too bright. If your screen is too bright, then every time you look at the back of your camera, you're going to think your picture is that much brighter or that particular brightness. Or if your screen is too dark, you're going to think all your exposures are underexposed. It's so important to have the LCD screen calibrated on the back of your camera so you know what you're getting. So how do you do that? The first thing you do is you calibrate your monitors. Now, there are professional calibration tools for your monitor to help you calibrate for color. But I'm not even talking about color. I'm just talking about brightness. You can't calibrate your LCD screen for color, but you can calibrate it for the right brightness. But you have to calibrate your computer monitor first. So how do you do that? I want you to write down this website right here. photofriday.com/info/calibrate. Obviously, you can all read it. I'm going to give you a minute to write that down, but while you're writing it down, what that's going to do is take you to this target. You want to go there and you want to bring this picture up on your screen, or better yet, save the picture to your computer. And then bring this picture up to your computer screen. And I'm going to tell you what you do. There are 3 white circles right here. And there are 3 black circles right here. Now, I don't know about your screen. If you can really see a difference between these 3 whites, your screen's too bright. If you can really see a difference between these 3 blacks, your screen's too bright. What you want to do is you want to darken your screen to the point where you can just barely see these 3 shades of white and these 3 shades of black. Now, your screen may be set to 100 and you may end up at 42 or 39. Don't freak out. That's where you need to be. You want to make sure, you want to darken up your screen so you can just see the difference between Y and Z and just see the difference between A and B. That's what you want to see. If you see a huge difference between these 3 blacks and these 3 whites, you're still too bright. And once you darken your screen and you're freaking out, oh, my screen's too dark, go to Facebook and start looking at people's pictures. Go on the internet and start looking at people's pictures and look at skin tones and go to good photographers that do good photography, and you're going to see that it's fine. So here's what you do. Once you get your screen calibrated, okay, so you put this target up there, you adjusted the brightness of your monitor, so you did exactly what it said, and you can read on here, it tells you what to do. So once you have the right brightness and your monitor is set for brightness, take your camera, go outside or go in your living room and shoot some still life or just shoot some pictures of anything. And then take that card of pictures and load it into your computer. And in Lightroom or Photoshop or wherever, open up one picture. Let's say you took a picture, you went outside and you took some pictures of flowers. Load the card into your computer, open up one flower, take the card out of your computer and put it back in your camera. And now on the LCD screen on the back of your camera, find the same flower picture that's now sitting on your computer. And in a dark room, hold your camera next to your computer, because now you know the computer brightness on your monitor is right. Hold your camera with the LCD screen next to your computer, and now brighten or darken your LCD screen so it matches the computer. Make sure the reds are the same darkness and the purples and the yellows or whatever's in your picture in a dark room. Now you know that your monitor is not too bright or too dark, because you compared your LCD screen to your computer monitor, which you've already set for the right brightness, and now all you're doing is adjusting. You're going into the menu in your camera, and you're finding monitor brightness, and you're turning it up and you're turning it down so it matches your computer screen. Voila! Now you have calibrated your monitor, so when you're out in the field, you have a better idea if your pictures are too bright or too dark. I've had people that have gone outside and they're in the sun, so they take their LCD screen and they move it to like +6 so they can see it, and they forgot that they moved it to +6, and the whole rest of the day, every one of their pictures they think is too bright, so they're shooting everything too dark. So it looks good on their LCD screen, and then they get home and it's 6 stops too dark. So this is how you calibrate, and I recommend this. It's good stuff.